Hey everybody, welcome back to our Emirates podcast with Sara Mousa, where I speak to guests from across UAE about topics you want to hear about. Today I am welcoming back one of my favorite guests ever on the show. Welcome back, Porva Grover.
Thank you so much. And I assume that I'm going to be like one of your favorite listeners as well, because I love listening to the stories and the voices you bring on your platform. Congratulations.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. You're honestly one of the best voices I've had on my show. And I have the honor of talking to you about your new book. I could have been an Insta post, or hashtag I could have been an Insta post. I know this is very social media oriented. Please tell me your story and what inspired you to write this book.
Thank you so much for having me. I remember having a conversation about my previous books here, so it's always a pleasure to come back. So yes, this particular book is called hashtag I could have been an Insta post. I have, of course, have a copy with me to show to everyone. So here it is. It's a really thick one, but that should not intimidate you, primarily because it is written, like you said, for the social media generation. It's written for the times we are living in, and that was primarily what kind of driven me to write this particular book. So the backstory would be that I was very reluctant to be on Instagram. And I never wanted to be there, primarily because I was like, okay, I am an author and all I can offer is words. And Instagram back then, at least, was only about pretty pictures and not videos also, only just about images. So I was very reluctant. I was like, what am I going to put out there? You know, I only talk in words. But back then, my publishers convinced me that if someone wants to connect with me, I need to be on Instagram. And that's how I came on the platform to start with. And of course, as time went by, I realized that yes, just like any other author or any other creator, I realized that yes, I could use the platform to kind of connect with my prospective readers. And of course, why not? So I'm not denying the fact that while I came with reluctance, that I didn't find any good in the platform. Yes, I did. But as I stayed on the platform and as I scrolled, and I want to add in here, I'm not even blue tick verified on Instagram. So but I do exist there. I do have some genuine followers who follow my words. But yeah, so I never even bothered to apply for the blue tick mark and all of that. So, but as I stayed there over a period of time, I realized that Instagram, of course, one, it was everything was over the top and everything was good on Instagram. Every post was about the beautiful avocado toast people were having every morning, the good time that they were having with friends, their holidays that they were taking to Maldives. So that's why when I came on it, I was like, what am I going to post? You know, on most days I burn my toast. What picture am I going to post? I'm not even going to Maldives. And so I would sometimes reluctantly post with my book and put it there. And then I realized that the algorithm likes to see faces more than it likes to see words, and that would push my followers, or the algorithm would work in my favor. But yeah, as I stayed on there, the longer I stayed on there, I realized that what hit me was that Instagram had kind of forced us to reach to the gist of everything in a very, very fashionable and in a very quick manner. We quickly wanted to put pictures, we quickly wanted to write captions. No one was actually even reading the captions. We were just very quick to hit a heart or a like, or share a story. We were just so quick about everything was happening in a very, very hurried manner, even to the extent that even when there was a sad announcement made on Instagram about someone passing away, we were very quick to type in RIP there. We were not even taking a moment to realize what was happening. So that was one realization, that we were in a hurry. The second realization, like I mentioned earlier, was that I realized that it had become a place where we were sharing our good moments of life in an over the top manner. And it hit me that days are not always good. Every day is a mix of a black and a white and a gray and all shades in between. So what happens to all those feelings? Where are we burying them? Why are they not Insta posts? Why are they not making way to Instagram? Of course, as time went by, a lot of people began to focus on what is called Instagram therapy. People began to share a little dark moments of their life, or the weak or the vulnerable moments of life. And that's what kind of inspired me, that we can find a balance. We can make everyone realize that if you're on Instagram, you can share the good moments of your life in an over the top manner. Why not do that for the weak and the sad and the vulnerable moments as well, and rely on words to find? So yes, the book, as always, the book found me. I found myself caught in a time where we didn't have patience to read. We just wanted to quickly scroll through something, and we were relying on social media. And that's how the book was called, hashtag I could have been an Insta post.
I love that. I love that. Like you hit so many important points in that description. You talk about the fact that we are so quick to react to something without actually understanding what we're reacting to. And of course, like the algorithm also like reacts to that. So like we have like the shortest attention span as humans in general. So when we quickly hit something, we don't actually fully digest or process what we're reading. And even it's much more deep and meaningful than we think. And also the fact that it is a safe space for us to share our deep and meaningful thoughts. It's not just about getting the likes and the followers, but it's also about being able to connect with your community online, which is kind of the next step in this, quickly, rapidly
Yes.
changing day and age that we're in. And I know that also the way that your book is structured is interesting, right? You said that like it's structured as kind of posts, like each page is different. Talk to me a little bit more about the structure of your book.
So because I was obviously, I'm here to cater to an audience which is used to reading on Instagram. And another thing, the job of an author and anyone who's involved in the field of literature or writing is also to capture what's happening at the moment. I wanted to write and design the book in an Instagram manner for the future generations to know there was a time when this is how we were reading. This is how we were sharing or expressing our emotions. So yes, each page is in the form of an Instagram post. And when you flip through it, I'll also try to show you here. When you flip through it, you will see the heart and the share button and everything. And each page is designed in that manner. And there are nuggets. So there are small posts, there are longer posts, and there are captions. And the beauty of the book is that you can just like Instagram, you can just pick up from anywhere, read one post. It may not relate to you and move on to other ones. So just like how you scroll, you will be flipping through the book. And I aspire that when you scroll or flip through the book, you do it with mindfulness here. You know where to stop. You take a moment to feel what's been written and you probably go back to it. So it is purely written for this generation, which has a fading patience when it comes to reading. We don't want to read, we just want to snack. And we've been just like everything, like whatever little we read, we'll just scroll through while we are waiting for a coffee, while we are waiting for a cab, or while we are waiting for a meeting to start. So the book is very snackable in that sense.
I love the fact that you always know how to position yourself in the shoes of your target audience with every book that you write. And you're doing it in a way that makes it so easy for them to process and digest what you're saying. It's almost like you think 10 steps ahead. You're not just thinking about a book that you read from page to page. You're thinking about what if this person randomly has like a minute or two to open up their book, as opposed to like scrolling through their phone while they're waiting for their coffee. They can open up any of the pages of the book and they can instantly relate to it. Now, my next question for you is more about kind of your next step on your journey. You've written multiple books. I know that we've talked about your books before. What do you believe is your next step in your writing journey?
Okay, so yeah, this is my fourth book, and of course, I continue to nurture stories. And my next step is, which has always been the part that I've been, and books just naturally became a part of my journey. I really believe that we do need more stories in the world, because in the end, all of us are stories. And I've always said and always believed that when facts go to your brain, but stories go to your heart. So if I was going to narrate a story to you today, you may not remember who told you that story, but you will remember the story. So my step is that, of course, that I continue to nurture this. I continue to visit more schools, more universities, more corporates, more families, and basically teach them the importance of reading stories, about writing stories, because we need to continue to express ourselves. We need to take a moment to sit down with ourselves and just feel everything that's happening. And stories allow us to do that in multiple ways. So yeah, the steps continue to be promoting reading and writing, and yeah, hopefully more books from here on.
Awesome. So where can your audiences and your guests find your book?
So you can find it on all the online platforms, all the regular platforms from Amazon to Barnes and Noble, everywhere you can find it. And very soon, just like I do that for all my books, I take my books to multiple events and multiple places where the book belongs. Like I said, this is the first conversation I'm having around my book. And from here on, we're starting with you, and we will take the book to various events that we will be hosting around the books, whether it's book signings or conversations or talks in the UAE to start with, because I'm based out of Dubai, and hopefully take it to other places. And I'll want to take it to India, which is where I come from. So yeah, you can find it everywhere in the bookstores and online.
Awesome. Do you have any final words of advice or words of wisdom for listeners today?
No word of advice. I don't think writing books is making me wiser. It's just allowing me to express myself. So, no words of advice, but yes, just do take a moment out of your lives to spend some time with words in whatever way you can. And you'll find so much strength in there, because now when I'm talking about I could have been an Insta post, I know that a lot of people, like you said, the world we are living in, a lot of people are finding strength to other people's stories being shared on Instagram, whether it's inspiration, whether it's courage. So just take a moment to accept that, embrace that, tell your story. You never know whose life you're going to make a difference in.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for allowing me the honor and the privilege of being the first person you're speaking to about your book. I am sure that my listeners are super excited to read all about it and just take a step into your world and understand the beautiful way that you turn words into art. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Wish you good luck.